your Swinpression, Battletoads.
Yeah, so I had a different game in here to give my swim impressions for this week,
Yes, and I was looking forward to seeing that.
which was Microsoft Flight Simulator. And then I realized that, hey, I actually need to actually learn how to do this to actually play this game a bit better.
It's a sim. It's a proper sim.
I
It's
know,
almost
I
not a
know,
game.
but I didn't feel like me detailing my one attempt at taking off from Tullamarine to fly to Point Cook and then just landing on the grass outside Tullamarine was a great impression to give our listeners. So what I actually said was, you know what, I'm gonna download Battletoads. You know, it just came out. I'm gonna give it a shot, and
Given
we
that you love the franchise as we spoke about last
the
week.
good old Monopoly, you know, of the video game world. So. And the thing with Battletoads is not only does it have not a lot of buzz about it, but
Negative buzz.
the trailers have not sold a lot of people on the game. And so
Not
I
at all.
thought, you know what, I'm going to try this and see what I thought. And I got to say, the game's not bad. The game's actually pretty decent.
I love your glowing reviews. The game's not bad.
No, it's actually pretty decent. I actually think so far this game is definitely a way better game than the NES Battletoads, in my opinion. That's not
Can I just jump in?
Yes.
Right? And I've got an interesting question. I know, like, you know, I'm ruining your vibe on this, but
don't you have a baby to go look after? Let me do my impressions.
do you think that this will become a cult classic in the exact same way almost as the original did?
No, but I mean, not that many games become cult classics from major
Okay.
publishers these days, I think, you know. So, like, something like Stardew is an example, I think, of it going from a cult classic to obviously a mainstream hit. But
like, no one is playing this game, dude. No one is playing this game.
well, no one's talking about this game. Doesn't mean no one's playing it. So I think there's a difference there. You know, there's no buzz about it. That's to be certain. But I don't think the game was meant to be a buzz kind of game. It was just meant to be, hey, here's a love letter to the community. We put out a new Battletoads game. Stop asking us for it. So, but basically, okay. So I've only played probably about probably the first third of the game potentially. It's hard to tell with this game because I believe it's not super long, but you wouldn't want this game to be super long either. I gotta say, we talked about, you know, brawlers, modern day beat 'em ups, and how it's kind of they're hard to find a place with modern game design. The Streets of Rage 4 might be an exception, and Scott Pilgrim might be an exception. Castle Crashers and that. I gotta say, my most least liked part of this game is the brawler segments, but they're well made.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're well
Oh, no.
made, but no. But the
Oh,
problem
no.
is that not the problem, but there's a lot to this game. So this game has so many different like mixes of genres, and between each level you do different things. And I actually think it actually works quite well because that's kind of what Battletoads has always been, at least the original game. And their approach to, so on the second stage, you're essentially doing like the Turbo Tunnel style level, and I believe there's one later anyway as well. That's actually handled really well. I actually thought that was really, really good. I had a blast doing that level, and I'd like to play that on the hardest difficulty because I think it's even faster. And that was really, really good. I'm actually having a lot of fun with it. I don't think especially at the start, I don't think the humor hits at all. It's got a really cool concept, and they play it up. It's very it's all about self-deprecation and things like that. They're making fun of Battletoads and the fact that they haven't been around for 25 years, and then work it into the storyline. But it does get better. So I found that the jokes start landing a lot more as you kind of get used to it. And there are times when it did actually make me laugh. So I think that it is a little try hard at the start. But I recommend, you know, anyone that was interested in Battletoads but maybe thought the game was, you know, had a lot of poor design choices, maybe give this a shot. You might actually enjoy it a lot more than the original. But it definitely obviously doesn't have the character of the original. I think the visual design of the NES game to me is just much more appealing than the newer visual design. So I'm going to give it a bit more of a try. It's got some cool mechanics in it, but yeah, I'd say the brawling is well done, but it's just not for me. I think that's the reason why I don't enjoy those levels as much. It's just I'm just kind of moved on from that kind of genre. Since the SNES days, it's probably the last time I enjoyed beat 'em ups was on the SNES. So yeah, I'm cool, keen to play more. I actually think it's a pretty decent game.
Like one of the other genres that reminds me of beat 'em ups is shmups, so shoot 'em ups, where and I think we're both big fans of shmups, and probably Ikaruga. Well, I'm not saying that right, am I?
Ikaruga.
Ikaruga, yeah,
Ikaruga.
Ikaruga, is probably the last one that I really loved. I get. Did that come out on the Game Boy? Sorry, GameCube initially. I know it was in arcades.
Yeah, it was on GameCube, Dreamcast, and
Yeah.
obviously got ports to 360, and I imagine
Yeah.
PS3, and it may even be on Switch. I'm not sure.
It is on Switch. I own it on Switch. Yeah. I actually also have the Tate mode, dock for the Switch. So I actually played it a lot on that as well. I love that game. But it does kind of remind me of that type of genre where it's sort of not falling out of favor of, I don't know if that's the right way to say it. It's just not one that people absolutely love anymore.
Well, did you know that Battletoads also has bullet hell levels?
Yeah, I've seen it. So in I was just looking through the gameplay footage, like someone just playing through the whole game. It's an interesting one. I feel like this game is almost guaranteed to come out on the Switch and other platforms because it's got no buzz about it, and it feels like if they want to get their money back or any investment from this game, they're gonna have to put it on other platforms because doesn't seem to be like a system seller, let's just say.
But I don't think it was meant to be. I mean, this wasn't probably a huge high budget game anyway. I think I could see it on the Switch. I don't think you can see it on any other platform. I mean, it is still
you
a
don't
Microsoft
think you can see it on
title.
PC? Is it on PC?
It's already on PC.
Ah, okay, sorry, fair enough.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's on.
Right.
I don't know if it's on Steam, but it's at least on the Windows Store. So.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think you're right. So I think it would be only Switch. I don't see this at all going on PlayStation like Cuphead recently has. Because I think that's a bit different because that's such a seminal game.
Yeah, but Cuphead also, I mean, at the time, the rights to Cuphead weren't completely owned by Microsoft, were they?
No, but they had so much investment. It was basically committed as a timed exclusive that they themselves said it would never be on PlayStation. And then, that certainly wasn't the case in the end.
But that, in terms
I think that's fair enough.
This is a Microsoft IP, so it's kind of different in that sense, I think. It's like a wholly owned IP,
I agree.
so...
Agree. And I think, just naturally because Battletoads, I feel like everything from Rare has a more natural audience with Nintendo anyway. And like that audience. So, anything that gets released, like if they did put Rare Replay onto Nintendo, I think that would just sell disgustingly. Like the numbers.
I'm shocked that they haven't done it already, but I will also clarify that I believe the majority of development for this particular game was from the Lala Studios, I believe. But obviously, it's a Rare IP. Like it's just like, it's so ingrained in Rare's history that this honestly is probably one of the games that really put them on the map back in the day and got them to Nintendo to start working with them even closer. So
yeah, definitely. And we haven't spoken about this beforehand, but. Wrapping up your Swinpressions, would you just say that people should go buy this game, or is this a sort of game that you should only play if you have, free access to it through Game Pass?
I think this game would actually be a decent purchase but for very specific situations. So first of all, if you've got someone that loves to play co-op games with you, because it's got co-op, but it's only local co-op. And apparently the way that the co-op is implemented is actually pretty cool. Like even in bullet hell stages, I think different characters do different things. So I think first of all, if you've got someone that loves co-op, and also if you are interested in Battletoads, I think those two things combined make it worth, a purchase. But at that point, you might as well just get a month of Game Pass to play it, because then you can also play other games.
Yeah, the replay value of this game may not be very high because it seems to be you can get through it in about 2 to 3 hours, which is normal for like a predominantly beat 'em up kind of game.
Yeah, there are some like collectibles and stuff, and there's scoring things, so there's definitely reasons to replay the game. But compared to obviously a lot of other modern games, you're not gonna, it's not like a Rocket League or anything where you're gonna get hundreds of hours out of it. So.
Yeah, and it probably doesn't seem to be the quality level where, you know how like Super Metroid, I go back and beat that game all the time. So because it's such a great game, you really love going through the whole thing. Whereas I probably doesn't seem like this game has reached that threshold. And it probably doesn't have the budget for it, to be fair as well.
Yeah, no, it's
Huh,
it's decent. I think
nice.
it's much better than I expected. So good on them.